Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video we are going to be doing a winter walk around the garden. And yes, it's January, and don't let the sunny balmy conditions fool you. It is literally a degree centigrade down here. Anyway, I don't know if you remember, but if you've seen some of our early videos, you'll see that the lovely sun-blessed garden with its exotic architectural leaves and gorgeous blooms have long since gone, and in recent times we've had the blessing, the literal blessing of snow, which is always great fun. Although, let's be honest, we're on the south coast, we don't get much snow, so there's not much to see. There's certainly somewhere that's been done, and it's all quite tidy. So let's go and have a little look around. So what a lovely day. The skies are blue. There's a buzzard circling overhead. Probably thinks that I could be its next meal. You never know. It is a bit cold, and I am old. And everything's looking rather nice, so it makes a good change, because really for the last 3 months we've had cloudy weather. It's been grey, miserable, a little bit drizzly, and I've not been able to walk into my lawn, but today we can, because the ground's frozen. So do you know what, let's start over here. So starting here in the courtyard garden, we've got some box, we've got some bay trees, some with twisted stems here, and they're absolutely fine. They don't need any real protection. They're as tough as old boots. And we've got some lovely little palms here. There's a Chamois humilis, these little fellas, and again they're not looking too bad. Now ordinarily here we would have had our sago palm, but that's been brought inside because I don't want that being touched at all, because I love those glossy leaves, so exotic, really gorgeous. But what we're looking at here is a hardy lemon. Yes indeed, there are such a thing, but you know, when we talk about hardy, we're looking at really down to about -2. I mean, this has been out, it's been about -1. We've got a little bit of drop on the leaves, but really this is absolutely fine. But I will put a little baggie, as we have done on the bananas here. That's a Musa Basju under there. We'll put a baggie on here just to give it extra protection, or bring it under cover or something, you know. But at the moment it's absolutely fine. It's in the pot. It's looking good. I'm sure that'll be absolutely fine over winter, as long as it doesn't get any colder. We've got a Salvia hapsten there, unprotected. These are surprisingly tough, and you know, it still gets leaves on, so I'm quite surprised at how well that is doing, but I expect that to be absolutely fine. There's another Chamois there, and the tree fern. And you might be asking, Simon, why is your tree fern not covered? Well, the thing is, they are generally tougher than you think. I mean, I have put a load of, in the crown, I have put a load of protection there to just keep that crown off. But really, these leaves will tolerate quite cold temperatures. We've had a little bit of snow on it, because we had a little bit of a flurry yesterday. And really, they probably don't need protection really until temperatures go down to about -2, -3. So I'm keeping my eye on the weather, as everybody should do. And as soon as temperatures drop even further, then this will be strung up, want of a better analogy, and then a cover put on top of that. So it's, yes, unprotected at the moment, more or less, but I have got an eye on it, so don't start shouting at me in the comments, because it's all under control. So we've got a Xanthodecia ethiopica underneath there, which still looking all right compared to you know, other people's that I've seen. It's got this, because the leaves are still left out on this tray fern, it's got a little extra protection, because you know, the point about this plant is it's gorgeous blooms, absolutely lovely tropical effect, beautiful, not a pure white, but a off grey white, but really, really lovely. And if I can keep the body of the plant, you know, still intact by the spring, then I'm going to get an absolutely superb display out of that. So I'm kind of pleased how that's gone on. And then next to that, you might be surprised to see I've got a Ricinus here. Now they are sort of classed as an annual here in the UK, and what I've done is I've taken off all the leaves, I've left the stem in place, and I'm hoping come the spring, if the winter isn't too cold, I might get some new growth at the bottom, and it'll save me sowing new seed. But I'm going to sow them anyway. But I just thought, you know, maybe I could get a better specimen with this fella. It is all a bit bare in the borders, but then a lot of the plants we have in here are herbaceous, will die back. I mean, we've got a Tetrapanix here that's still got a little bit of leaf on it. These are pretty tough, and even if it gets so cold that the leaves go, the stems go, it will still reshoot from the base, as you can see that it's done this year. And look at that. always an absolute star in the garden. That's the Fatsia spider's web, evergreen, shade tolerant, and absolutely gorgeous foliage colour. I really like that specimen. In fact, I will have that in any garden and recommend that one to anybody. For the sharp-eyed among you, you'll notice that this is a old Swiss cheese plant on Steria deliciosa. You can see the fenestrations. There's a word for you. The fenestrations. They're the window openings in these, all dead here. Now, I was told by a man on the radio that these are actually surprisingly tough. So I do have a couple of these. So one's been brought in just to make sure that I do have one in the spring, and I've left this one out. And you'll notice all the stems all very green. So again, if it doesn't get too cold this year, there's every chance this will re-sprout leaves in the spring, and if it does, I'm going to be quite excited about that. Oh, there's not much to see here. Black bamboo, trachycarpus, aspidistra, blah 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 blah. Ooh, camellias. I do like a camellia. Got a lot of bud on it, but nothing really showing too much. Oh, lovely. I think that one's called Chinese lace, but I'll check with that. But more interestingly are what's under the bags. Well, these bags, we've got a few of them about, you probably noticed in the background, and these are part of our winter protection for the more tenderish, at-risk plants. And they do two things. What they do is they provide a rain shelter so that the roots don't get too wet and frozen, because a lot of the plants that we grow in these exotic gardens, they will tolerate the cold, but they just don't like cold combined with wet waterlogged conditions. So part of the use of these bags is to protect the area around the root system, to make sure that it doesn't get wet, or at least as wet as it could be. So let's have a look at bag number one. Bag number one. Look, is well put in there. That is agave americana, which we put in earlier this year. Bag number two. Echium pininana, the tree echium. Now, actually, this is something we need to do. I need to do a check on this plant. Now, one of the problems that you have overwintering echiums, if you're putting protection over it, is there is a caterpillar that lays its eggs in the crown of the echium, and so come the winter, you might find some big fat caterpillars eating their way, and obviously the more they eat, the bigger they get, and you're at risk of losing the entire crown. It can just completely eat the whole thing, and if it eats the top growth, it won't kill the plant, but what it will do is you'll lose that single stem, and it will multi-stem, and where it multi-stems at the side, it's a weak point where that stem touches is connected to the main trunk, and because of that, strong winds, it will blow down. So it's not really worth keeping them, in my opinion. They're absolutely fine if you're in an area that doesn't receive wind, but if you do, then you're going to have to stake up every single one of those spikes, because guaranteed first storm, all going to fall down. So I'm just going to take that bag off with each if there's any caterpillars still in there. There shouldn't be, so I've been doing this periodically. I have found a few. If I haven't got one on here, I'll show you a little clip where we have found one previously. Alright, now these caterpillars, they are green. They're exactly the same colour as the foliage. So well, do you know what I mean? Usually a telltale sign is that there's a black poop from the caterpillar, and there's nothing there. It's absolutely clean. So this one is fine. We'll put the bag on it, and we'll have another check in like 3 or 4 weeks. But I'll be honest with you, we're probably clear for this year now. But look at that, single stem all the way up. That's exactly what you want. You don't want it to multi-stem. Well, this is a plant of interest. This is the hardy aloe striatula, and it doesn't look much at the moment because it's very small. This is a cutting that we took and planted previous autumn, so it should be well rooted. I will put some protection on this if it gets too cold, but once it's established, it is really hardy and doesn't require any protection. But at the moment, while it is this small, you know, I do need to keep an eye on it, but it has a fantastic flower. I'm really looking forward to seeing this bulk up, because it is a superb specimen plant. Just not now, it's a bit crap. Now we've got another camellia here. This is Camellia Debbie. Masses of bud on it. We gave this a huge cut last autumn. You can see, I don't know if you just see that, but there's a really hard cut there. And loads and loads of bud this year. Didn't get much last year, but we did get a few. But this is going to be coming out probably in the next 6 weeks or so. So this is a great one. But next to it is another bag. And what's under the bag? We have, and there's not much to see at the moment, fuchsia boliviana, which is an absolutely stunning specimen. Let me see if we can see anything. I mean, it's completely, stupid camera. It's completely dropped all its leaves, but I'm hoping the stems will remain viable and re-sprout out in the spring. Right, we are up in the apple tree, and we're here for one reason and one reason only. Let me show you. Now, if you remember last year, we put some mistletoe seeds on this branch, and I don't know if you can tell, but these seeds have engaged with the cambium layer. They've shot down their root system to connect to the xylem and the phloem, or I'm not sure which one it is, which they connect to now. I'd have to check that. But as you can see, they have kind of moved on. Now, they're very slow to take, very slow to germinate, but I'm hoping if they all survive this winter, with a bit of luck, we might get an actual leaf next year. So this is a newly planted bed we did earlier last year, and got a lovely formium here. If I can find the colour form, I'll stick that underneath. Got a tree dahlia that we cut back and protected. There's a load of butt chips which we're using as a dry mulch to protect the root system here. And another salvia, getting very messy, cut it back, but I expect that to be absolutely fine in the spring. And another bag, and under this bag we have the glorious Musella laziocarpa, one of my favourite plants. You don't see it very often, but I'm hoping it's got the bag, it's got the fleece on it, it's got bark chips on it, so I'm hoping with water protection it will survive the spring. Still feels pretty hard under there, so it hasn't succumbed to the cold as yet. And this is what is usually our most impressive boulder. If you remember, in the summer it's got this absolutely enormous hardy banana here. Stands about 3.5 meters tall, which is about as big as they get. I'm looking forward to coming up to the spring, and that is indeed what is under the bag there. It's just not cold enough really to worry about putting any more protection on it. It's got the baggy roof on it. We did a video on how to protect these earlier in the year, which you can have a look at if you want to, but for now they are root hardy. If root hardy down to -12 degrees Celsius, so I don't even need to worry about putting a dry mulch in these at the moment. But if it does get colder, -6, -7, -8, then I might stick another wrap around the base there. But for now, that is absolutely fine. And for the rest of it, wow, it's all looking a bit sad. Oh, under there, Abyssinian banana. Again, not much to look at because it's completely wrapped up, but it's got the bag, it's got the fleece, it's got a dry mulch there, because again, I want that one to survive the winter as best as I can. And I guess that is it for our winter walk round for January. So I hope you enjoyed. If you've got anything you'd like to add in the comments, then do so. We'd love to hear from you, and hopefully see you again in our next video, or when it gets a wee bit warmer. Anyway, I will leave you for now with the comforting views of some lovely landscapes. Goodbye.